There is a line every young prophet must cross. The line between natural perception and spiritual access. And that line is guarded by attachments. Mental attachments, emotional attachments, relationship attachments, material attachments, and ego attachments. And the things that guard that line are these things I've mentioned. It's a thin line, but guarded by so many things that we will never expect. John 12:24 said, except a corn of wheat fall into the what? Into the ground and die, it abideth alone. But if it die, it bring forth much what? Much fruit. The time your revelation and your discernment become sharper is the time your detachment is deeper. When you detach deep to other things, mental things, material things. Look, there are many things I want, but anytime I stand on this altar, I have a principle. I understand that at this time, it's not about me. There are others. It's not what I want. It's not what I'm going through, but it is what other people are going through. I was ministering somewhere. I was so much stressed and tired. I wanted to close the service, but I could see the energy from the people. So I told one of the guys, I told Evans, get me hot water. Because at that time, I realized that I was becoming too much of myself. And I realized that the revelations were fading off eventually. So I needed to get hot water, drink the hot water, and raise a prayer. Whilst they were praying, I worked on myself. How did I work on myself? Simple. Detaching myself from what needs to be done in the physical realm. And forgetting that this earth I live, I have a problem. Now, it is a simple thing. The more you die to self in the midst of prophecy, when you stand before the people and you need to prophesy, one of the things you need to do is that you have to die to what you need, to self and many things. Forget you have a need, because the more you die to self, the more you hear from God. That's the revelation. Prophets are called to travel light and with the speed of light. God calls prophets not to carry burdens but to transmit the burden. If you are always carrying burdens, and if that burden is not God's burden but it's your own burden, you'll be limited on how you access, how you hear, and how you move in the spirit realm. You'll be limited. The only burden a young man and a young prophet trying to access the voice of God must carry is the burden of God. If it is not of him, then you must transmit it. But many prophets comes to God with so many things. Backpacks of anxiety, many suitcases. Some of them, they are suitcases of ambition, suitcases of many things. As a matter of fact, it is impossible to access that dimension with all that you are carrying. The unresolved trauma, the betrayal, the bitterness. These are all attachments. The desire to succeed, the desire to attain a particular level of prosperity and wealth. I was talking to my wife the last time because we were watching a particular documentary. Look, the documentary scared me and it taught me a lot and it humbles me a lot. What happened? This is Prophet Samuel who finished prophesying to Saul. And when he was done prophesying to Saul about how God have rejected him and how God have picked another person. So Saul knew that there was a new king that has been anointed in the line of Judah, but he didn't know specifically who was that king. So he was now hunting for that king, and the hunting became so severe that he couldn't tell who is that person is. So he now needed to see someone tell him who that person was. So he stopped hunting for the new anointed king and started hunting for the prophet. And the man has to run for his life. The only thing that was saving Samuel is that anytime Saul is on the way, someone will see before he comes. So the strength of Samuel was his side. But now, he made a profound statement. He said, it is impossible to love the spoils of the Amalekites and still love your God. Those two things cannot go together. You must choose either the spoils of the Amalekites or the God that called you. You can't love both. Because it's like Saul's heart was so much in the what? In the spoil of the Amalekites. So Samuel said, that is why I decided to stay with the Lord. So sometimes you realize that all these prophets we admire and we love so much, there was a principle they kept which actually helped them. Sir, it's good to have visions, and it's good to desire to have some things, but among all, the most important thing is that if God is not in the picture, you will miss it big time. That's why the Bible says, do not take a purse or a bag or sandals. Luke 10:4. Do not carry any bag with you, because they will delay how you will deliver this. Your prophetic calling cannot be delayed by any demon. It is being delayed by your attachments. Whatever you are carrying along with you is what is delaying your ability to access the spirit realm. It's not any demon, because as a matter of fact, I can tell you that if demons have their way, they want you to see them so that they can bargain with you. Because there is a type of bargaining. Satan, he will not have the opportunity or the privilege to bargain with you if you are not at a particular height. So the mind is either your portal or your prison. Your attachments determine your access to the spirit realm. It is that simple. When your mind is noisy, the heavens are silent. When your mind is silent, the heaven speaks. So you must just learn how to detach yourself from so many things. All this while, your problem has been what is in your head. You are unable to break through because of what is in the head. That has been your problem. Anytime I try to have access to the spirit realm, I do something. It is impossible to live in the world without having the world being part of you. It is so impossible. That's because no matter how spiritual you think you are, you will buy food. You will need shelter. No matter how spiritual you think you are, you need a means of transportations. You cannot be riding a horse. This is our generation. You arrive very late. So you need a means of what? Transportation, no matter how spiritual you are. So I want you to know that it is impossible to have a silent mind and then a quiet mind all the time. The mind will always speak. It will always wander. What you need to do as a prophet is how you detoxify it, and then you cleanse it, and then you prepare it the moments you want to access the spirit realm. It's important. I can tell you that there is no other way on how to break through into the spirit realm. If there was another way, you would have known. You have to go through the mind. So the distance between you and the spirit realm is the mind. That's the distance. So like I said initially, the spirit realm is not far. It is your mind that is clouded. So the time it will take you to enter there will be determined by you and by your mind, not by any demon. So there's no devil that can stop you from accessing the spirit realm. They have not created that devil before. They've not born that demon. Satan has no power in that realm to stop you. But what he does is that he can distract you. And the distraction will come at this place where the individual struggle. That is why I recommended meditation to help deals with your mind and to help shorten the moments and the time you used to break through. Now, this is not for pastors, it's for everybody. It's for the believer, it's for the CEO, it's for the accountant, it's for the nurse, it's for everybody. You must learn to let go of things within seconds, and you are in another realm within seconds. I was watching somebody, and then this was what happened. He was prophesying and got angry, insulted the guy holding the microphone, and nearly slapped him, and continued prophesying. It raised a red flag there. There are two things. Number one, possibility is that maybe he had a full revelation before he starts prophesying, or it's an arranged thing. Number three, or he's using another spirit. I don't know if you are getting me. So there are three possibilities. Either he had a full revelation before he started prophesying. Number one possibility. Two, is arranged. Three, another spirit. Because that type of anger, and yet he continues raise issues over there. Does that mean that you should not get angry? Sometimes you don't control what happens around you. But do you know that no matter the height you are in the spirit realm, flowing, and then that anger comes, pine, you comes to the ground. You have to ascend again, all over. So it happens, sir. The journey or how long the distance will be determined by what is in the head, your mind. So when the Lord is calling you, He will let you die before He speaks to you. I am crucified with Christ. You cannot prophesy with clarity until you are crucified. So God doesn't give microphone to people who are still alive. He will make sure you die before He hands over the microphone to you. There are things you have to deal with. When it comes to accessing the spirit realm, mostly people struggle in three different realms. The first realm is normally the flesh. The second realm is the mind, which are also called the soul. The third realm is the spirit. All this realm, people struggle. But where people stayed for a long period of time is the realm between the spirit and the flesh. I'm telling you the truth. Many prophets have mastered the ability of fasting and praying. Many prophets have tamed the flesh. Many young prophets are on top of the mountain, yet they still have no access. If you know how many people are on top of the mountain as I am talking to you right now, sir, you will be amazed. There are thousands and thousands of prophets on the mountain. Some are fasting. Some are on dry fast. Yet, how to access that voice is still a problem. So there are many young prophets who have crucified the flesh. As for the flesh, they've dealt with it. They can go months. In fact, what the flesh used to do, they are able to tame it. But sir, when they are journeying from the flesh, what is the intention? The intention is that I want to see like God, hear like God, and I want to enter that realm or that dimension where God can speak to me, where I can hear Him, and then I can respond, where we have interactions. So you see that many people don't stop or they don't struggle with their flesh. There's a realm they get to where they struggle. And that realm is the solace realm where the mind limits many people from accessing the spirit dimensions. A young prophet one day came to me. This was the problem. He said he wants to build a church. And anytime he closed his eyes, he see the church. So he said, Prof, what is happening? I don't know because I'm looking for further revelation. God keeps revealing the church to me all the time. And I told him that God is actually not involved in the revelation you've been seeing. You know, there's this thing we call ambition. The devil can present your ambition to you in your mind mind just to limit you from accessing the spirit realm. You close your eyes, he show you what you really want to see, just to stop you from entering the realm, what God actually wants or what God actually have for you. I said, what you have been seeing is your ambition. It has nothing to do with the Lord. God is not involved. God was never there. I said, forget about that. Drop that picture of the church in your head. Drop it and go to God, like I said the other day, in a default setting. Don't come to him with what you want. When you are coming to him, clear the mind of whatever you want and whatever you know, what you have seen and what you have not seen, and let him speak, let him communicate to you, let him talk to you. As you practice that, you will realize that you begin to see a different picture from what you have been seeing all this while. It's like a young man who said that he wants to marry, but there is this lady he wanted to marry, and he has prayed. He has seen himself wedding the lady in a revelation, in a dream, sometimes in trances. And then he came to me too another time like that. And when I prayed, the Lord says she's not the one. And the guy was shocked because the number of revelation he has seen, he was just coming for me to confirm it. Why? The lady has clouded the mind. That's the ambition. The ambition is to marry the lady. So whatever he was seeing in the revelation was his ambition. So when I now said a different thing altogether, he was disappointed. Why? That was not what he was expecting. He expected something better. He expected me to tell him that, okay, go ahead, you will marry her. But that's not what the Lord told. All that while, he was seeing what? The ambition. That was the revelation he was seeing. So I told him, you must isolate yourself. Sometimes the best way to help the mind is isolation. That's the best way to help the mind. And the best way to detach is isolation. I told him, you must isolate yourself. God allows isolation for elevation and for purification. Genesis 37 verses 24. The Bible says, and they took him and cast him into a pit. The pit wasn't Joseph's prison. It was God's private classroom for training Joseph and preparing him for encounters.